In this video, I want to discuss about the payment methods. How many payment methods or how many types of payment that we can do with the QuickBook. We can make a payment with the right check. We can make a payment with a credit card, with a debit card, payment with the electronic fund transfer, as well as payment with the PT Cashbook. So in order to make a payment through these 5 methods, go in the QuickBook, click on the banking. The first one was right check. Already we have discussed. This is one of the way of making the payment. So you can select your bank account and then of course the pay to whom you want to make payment, for what purpose you want to make a payment, save and close this one. That's it. This was one of the way of making the payment. Second way of making payment is through credit card. This one is already also discussed. And this was the making a payment through credit card. Already we have discussed this one, how you can make a payment as well as how we can return it back. Next one is payment through debit card as well as payment through electronic fund transfer. In order to make payment through debit card as well as electronic fund transfer, once again you have to click on right check, right? Select your bank account. Which bank account? Any bank account which has a debit card. If there is no debit card, then you have to go for the bank and then you have to make a debit card. For example, debit card, and link this one to any bank which you want. Let us say, for example, this debit card is from which bank? From AB. And give a balance for this one. Let us say the balance is amount of 2 lakh. On which date? For example, this is on the 1st of June. Save and close this one, save and this one. Now, see, we want to make a payment through your debit card. If you want to make a payment through your debit card, once again, come back to right check. So this is the right check window. So this is the balance in your debit card account. In this one, instead of check, you have to mention the debit card, right? You have to mention what? Debit card. In the right check, instead of the check number, you have to mention the debit card. Why? Because why the right check section is used for the purpose of debit card? Because debit card is also belong to the bank and right check is also belong to the bank. So that is why we have used from this section. But how we can differentiate? In this way you can differentiate. Instead of the check number, you can mention the debit card. Okay? If there are, for example, several debit cards, DB, for example, several, or debit card. If there are several debit card, then you have to mention the last digit number of this one. For example, this is it. This is the last digit number. Right? If several debit cards are there, then you can mention this debit card. Then rest of the thing is the same as right check. Right? On the other side, for example, if you want to make a payment through electronic fund transfer, which is not common in our country, if you want to make payment through electronic fund transfer, that in this section you have to mention electronic fund transfer. That is it, right? So right check is used for 3 types of payments: for the check, as well as for the debit card, as well as for the electronic fund transfer, right? So electronic fund transfer also can be used through this section itself. So let us say this time we want to make a payment of 10,000 through one of our debit card account. Which debit card account? This is the debit card, right? For example, let us say DB, for example, debit card, right? And of course, and why we want to make a payment, this amount of 10,000 payment is because of, for example, office supply. That's it. Save and close this one, right? This is closed. This was the second. The last way of payment is through PT Cash. How we can make a payment through PT Cash? So in order to make payment through PT Cash, you have to go for the use register, right? Go for the use register, select your PT Cash account. Already we have made a PT Cash, right? Select this account. And then, of course, click on the OK. So here you can make a payment through your PT Cash account, right? First of all, of course, in the number, this is the first payment, so that is why it shows payment number 1. Here you have to specify to whom you want to make a payment. For example, let us say, as I said before, PT Cash is used for the purpose of small expenses. Let us say, for example, we have guests in our, we can say, in our business, or we can say in our, office. So for that purpose, so we want to spend some amount for the food and so on, right? That is why we want to pay some amount to one of our employee in order to purchase food and some other items from the market. So select the pay. Let us say we want to send one of our employee by the name of Rahim Khan Sarwari, right? And for what purpose I'm paying to him? I'm paying to him because of meal expenses. And how much I'm paying to this employee in order to purchase food and several other items? Let us say I am paying amount of 5,000. How much balance is available? A balance of 20, sorry, 2 lakh is available, or 200,000 is available to this bank account. Out of this, we want to pay 5,000 to Mr. Abdul Rahim to purchase foods and so on from the market, and of course bring for our guests. If you want to make a payment, so of course again there are two sections. One section for the purpose of payment, if we want to make a payment through PT Cash, and the second section is for the purpose of deposit, if we want to redeposit to our bank account, to our PT Cash account. So this time we want to make payment. So save this one. Now the balance of PT Cash decreased to how much? 1,95,000. Let us say, for example, this 5,000 is not enough, so I have to pay once again for the salary in order to purchase, we can say, some other items. Might be, for example, this time we are paying because of some transportation or telephone expenses, or let us say, for example, repair expenses. Previously, I paid, for example, for the food, and this time we want to pay for the repair, right? Again, how much we want to pay? This time, again, we want to pay amount of 5,000, right? So if you pay again, so number of PT Cash decrease. Let us say I have the amount which I have paid, for example, for the repair and maintenance. When an employee go to the market and check that and pay for the repair, the amount is extra. When the amount is extra, so he return back to amount to the business. So when he return back the amount to the business, on that case, so let us say, for example, already I have paid for 5,000 for the repair and maintenance. When he went to the market, 2,000 was enough. So he returned back the remaining amount of 3,000. When he returned the remaining amount of 3,000, so you have to select who returned back and from which account returned back, and then amount instead of payment mentioned in the deposit account, right? Why? Because the amount is returned back. So if returned back, so the amount will increase. So 1 lakh how much? 93,000. So through PT Cash, you can make payment as well as you can deposit to your PT Cash account, right? So one more thing, that how we can deposit first of all to your PT Cash account. One of the way was through transfer. Through transfer, you can deposit to this one. And the other way is the use register. Through use register, also you can deposit to your PT Cash account, right? How we can deposit to your PT Cash account from use register from AIB Bank? So the pay. Under the pay, select the PT Cash. Do you have PT Cash? No, you don't have. If you don't have, go on the new, click on the other, and click PT Cash. Click what? Create what? PT Cash. The name should be PT Cash. But the account should be PT Cash account, which is already established, right? Select the PT Cash. Now, you want to make payment to the PT Cash, or you want to receive it from PT Cash? No, this time we want to deposit to your PT Cash. If you want to deposit to your PT Cash, so of course this is why this is payment and this is deposit. This payment and deposit is from AIB side. But if you want to make payment to your PT Cash, if you want to make deposit to your PT Cash, so definitely you have to select the payment section of this one, right? But on the other side, if you want to receive back from your PT Cash, then you have to mention the amount on this one. But no, this time we want to deposit to your PT Cash from AIB to PT Cash. So it become a payment to AIB. How much you want to make deposit to your PT Cash? We want to make a payment of 20,000 to your PT Cash. Or we want to make a transfer of 30,000 to your PT Cash. Save this one. Go to your PT Cash now. Right? Use register. Select PT Cash. Right? Now, how much is the balance? Balance is 2,23,000. How much is deposited from another bank? From PT Cash to from Cobble Bank to PT Cash. Okay? On the other side, through your register, of course, through your register, you can receive back from the PT Cash. Previously, I have deposited to PT Cash. Again, you can receive back from PT Cash. How can you receive back? Select your PT Cash account, right? So mention the amount under the deposit. How much you want to receive? You want to receive 23,000. 7 close this one, right? Now, if you go for the PT Cash, how can you check it? You can check from transfer fund as well, right? You can mention the PT Cash. Balance decrease once again to how much? To amount of 2 lakh, right? Also, you can deposit to your PT Cash from deposit itself. Make deposit, right? Let us say, for example, we have received the checks from these two employees, and the amount is how much? 2 lakh, something like that. The main deposit can go to this account, or here itself you can mention your PT Cash. How much you want to which bank account you want to deposit? To PT Cash account. For example, 2,23,000 is the amount we want to deposit to your PT Cash. Save and close this one. Now, if you go for the PT Cash, how much is the amount? Amount increased to 4,21,000, something like that. So this was the part. These were different way of making payment through